Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. Now, tonight we'll be talking politics again on this program. Now, the local government elections is by far the most important election in our country. It is so important because it affects you and me directly. From the road that you travel on, the public park that your kids play in, the municipal lawns that must be mowed, the open tap that provides you with clean, quality drinking water, etc., all comes together with the right person that you choose for this local election. Now, this local election covers all the basic issues that we face on a daily basis, your bread and butter issues. And it's so important to choose the right person to vote for. Now, joining me tonight is the DA Ward Councillor, Wollaston Labischagne, that will be answering a few questions on what his plans are for now. Good evening, Wally. Can you hear me?
Katie, yes, I can hear you. Thank you for the opportunity. Good day to Nigel residents. I'm impressed by this platform. Initially, when you contacted me, I was a little bit hesitant. I'm definitely not an actor, I'm more a politician, but yes, I'm very impressed with this platform, and thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, listen, I'd like us to get straight into the matters at hand here. Because you are the person at the forefront that's going to steer the ship at the end of the day. So the DA launched its manifest not so long ago, and can you just quickly tell us in 3 minutes what is the DA offering as a political party to the people of Ekurhuleni and to Nigel?
Yes. Katie, look, I'm not going to go into detail about the DA's manifesto. I think it's on our website. Residents, voters can look at it. But to summarize, let me put it to you this way. The Democratic Alliance would like to build a future for every single citizen in this country based on freedom, fairness, opportunity, and diversity. Now, that is also basically our slogan, but I think that captures our manifesto. As you know, our slogan for the elections also, the DA gets things done. It's a known fact that the top 5 municipalities are managed or run, if you want to use that term, by the DA. It's on the internet, the information is available. But like I said to you, I think to summarize, opportunities for everyone.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And I think when it comes to opportunities, it's also important that with opportunities come job creation at the end of the day. And in your manifesto, you talk about electricity supply. And I think that's the core issue that faces all our municipalities at the moment, because big business wouldn't invest in a municipality if there's no constant stream of electricity. So I know this is much bigger than you as a person, but
in
as
local
a broader
government,
issue,
yes.
Yeah. As a broader issue for the DA, should you take over Ekurhuleni, what's the plan? How will you ensure a constant feed of electricity with no blackouts?
Yeah. Well, Katie, I'm glad that you touched on that. Look, as you rightly mentioned, it is contained in our election manifesto. Not only households are completely reliant on electricity supply, but also small businesses, large businesses, industry. And in Nigel, as you know, we have 2 major industrial areas with huge industries. Now, I'll take you back just before I get to, how we plan on ensuring a constant supply of electricity. I'll take you back to a couple of months when we had the one pylon that toppled over. I think we all know, or all Nigel residents and business owners knows, and realizes what negative effect and impact, a couple of days, it was almost a week, with electricity interruption, the negative impact it has on businesses and households. Now, personally, as you know, on local government level, there are different oversight committees, as you would have in Parliament. You have your portfolio committees. Personally, I don't serve or haven't served on the Energy Department's Oversight Committee. So I'm not actually the right councillor to speak to give you answers on exactly how we will ensure a constant supply of electricity. But I can tell you one thing. The biggest and most important thing when it comes to an improved electricity supply is improved maintenance. The reason why we have so many power outages in Ekurhuleni, it's simple, lack of maintenance. And that is one thing that the Democratic Alliance will ensure, first of all, is maintenance of all our substations and our electricity infrastructure maintenance.
Yeah, that's most important. And I was actually hoping you would touch on maintenance. It's like driving a car. If you don't take it for a service, you wouldn't have the kilometers that you desire from that specific car. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'd like us now to zoom in on you as a person, you as an individual. Quickly, why did you avail yourself to stand again for a second term? I mean, like the first term, I mean, obviously you could have just thought, oh, I'm not going to do this again. I don't have time for this nonsense in my life. But why did you decide, come on, let me take the baton and run again?
Let's do it again. Katie, yes. Look, just a brief background. I grew up in Brakpan, and I grew up in a household where politics was always part of the family. My father has been in politics all his life. As a matter of fact, he just, attended his last council meeting the other day. It was on Thursday after a political career of 40 years. So it was inevitable that I get involved with politics. I got involved as an activist with the Democratic Alliance in around about 2014. And towards the end of 2014, 2015, or the start of 2015, I applied to become a candidate for the Democratic Alliance. Now, I currently stay in Springs. I have a house in Springs, and I obviously requested to be placed in one of the Springs wards. Unfortunately, at that stage, my predecessor indicated that he, wants to go the proportional councillor route, and they said to me, look, buddy, the only vacant ward is Ward 88, and I said to them, I'll take it. So that's how I got involved in Ward 88 Nigel. Subsequently, I stood as the candidate. The DA got the majority support in Ward 88. And because I, came to realize that this is a calling for me, it's a passion, that is why I applied for a second term.
Okay, all good and well. But do you think, you say it's a calling, do you think you are the perfect person for this job? If you take your track record.
Yes, I'm probably not the perfect local government councillor. There are some extremely dynamic local government councillors in the Democratic Alliance, but because of the experience that I've gained during the past 5 years and the knowledge that I've gained specifically pertaining to the challenges that Nigel faces, I think that it requires someone that knows exactly what the challenges are that residents of the entire ward faces, not only one segment of the community, but the entire ward. So that's why I think I would be the ideal candidate.
Good. And so within the next term, should you be elected again, can you think of 5 things? Let's take 5 things that the community can judge you on. Let's say, for example, for argument's sake, I'm saying I'm going to build a wall around Nigel. And within my 5 years, I haven't built the wall. People can say, listen here, Katie, you just didn't build the wall, so you weren't the right person for the job. So can you think of 5 things that people can judge you on after this term? What do you think? What can they judge you on?
Definitely. Katie, that is actually very straightforward. Um, Not a lot of residents know, and I've actually come to realize that many residents, and I say this with the utmost respect, there are so many much more important things in life, family, friends, all of that. Not a lot of residents are really informed about how exactly local government functions. Now, one of the priorities or one of the responsibilities of a local government councillor, whether you're in a district municipality or in a metropolitan municipality like we are in Ekurhuleni, a ward councillor should drive 5 IDP priorities, integrated development program priorities. In Afrikaans is dit maar die geïntegreerde ontwikkelingsplan prioriteite. And the ward councillor decides on those priorities together with the elected ward committee. Now, there are a few priorities in Nigel, and I'm just going to touch on them briefly. First of all, we have the wetland in Elra Park. It's referred to as the A21F wetland, which is completely polluted. So I would like to drive the rehabilitation and the fencing of that wetland during the next 5 years, because that wetland, the bird life in that wetland is absolutely unique. The second priority I would like to drive is the rehabilitation and the reconstruction of the entire Nigel Stormwater Canal. And then also the completion of all maintenance. We all know that the Nigel Town Hall is in an absolutely shocking state. So I would really like all of the maintenance and the refurbishment, whether it's interior or exterior, to ensure that all of that work on the Nigel Town Hall is completed so that the residents of Nigel can use the facility again. And then also roads. There are still numerous unsurfaced roads, both in Elra Park, Mackenzieville, Versaghi Park. Recently, the contractors completed the Gamkachuni streets, but there's still a lot of unsurfaced roads. And then also the fifth priority, the rehabilitation and the upgrade of the John Foster Stadium.
Okay, so do you think that is doable within the next 5 years?
Katie, it should be doable. The reason why I say that is when the councillor, a ward councillor, in conjunction with his ward committee, once they have engaged with the community, decide and finalize those priorities, the actual departments has an obligation to budget for those priorities. It might not be implemented in year one, but to give you an example, even though it is a failed project, and it's definitely not my doing, but the Elra Park Stadium was, I drove the upgrade of the Elra Park Stadium during the past 5 years. It should have been completed given the fact that, or if the mayoral committee provided us with a competent contractor. So yes, those priorities is doable in the next 5 years. Depending on the administration that is in charge.
Yes, of course. We know how that works. So just a final question. What sets you apart from the other candidates that's running for this election, and why do you think the residents of Nigel should vote for you?
Katie, yes. First of all, look, I do have the necessary experience. As I indicated before, I know exactly what the challenges are in Ward 88. So like I said, I have the necessary experience and the knowledge. Also the qualifications. I've done various local government courses through our federal head office. I'm currently, I have enrolled for a political science course. So, the skills and knowledge and qualification, I think some of our other candidates might have that also. But one of the biggest criticism that I've received in the past 5 years is that I don't reside in Nigel. Now, I want to make it very clear that whether or not I have a house. I sleep in Nigel. I know that some of our predecessor, lived in Nigel, but worked in Benoni for 15 years. Anyway, I might have a house in Springs, but I'm absolutely dedicated to Nigel, to Ward 88 and the challenges. So that in a nutshell, I know what the challenges are, I know what the problems are, and I'm dedicated to Nigel.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Wally, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know it's all crunch week, and you're really trying your best to be out there and to do your thing. And I do appreciate you taking the time out to have this chat with me. And then I'm sure, and I hope that this chat would really put this out to the community of Elder Park and Ward 88, who Wally is and what the DA is and what they can provide, so that they can basically make an informed decision on come the 1st of November. Wally, I'd like to thank you once again for taking the time out, and good luck with the rest of your campaign.
Thank you, Katie. We get things done.
Excellent. Thanks.